How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about NIO, which had quite the red day inside of the market. If you remember what I was talking about in my previous video, I could see more volatility for this week. So for that downside pressure that we saw, you shouldn't be shocked. But we'll talk about some more details in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for NIO. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $14.10, being down 12.26%. On the low, it tested $13.82, and then on the high, testing $15.74. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 113.744 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 78.088 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, where you could tell we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 28.24. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So what we can clearly see, NIO is on a downtrend, being in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. And if you guys remember from the previous video, we broke through $15.69, and now we're just free falling on the day. Of course, there were other things that happened. I will talk about it in the later portions of the video. But as far as the price action going into tomorrow, there's a huge possibility we can get down to testing around $12.50. So that is one thing you're going to want to keep on your radar, right at $12.50. Because if we break through $12.50, then you could see NIO going all the way down here to around $10.71. And we do have a gap that needs to be filled to the downside around $9.37. So add that to your homework. If you're looking for a bullish reversal out of this play, then NIO needs to get back to $20 and get to the 21-day EMA at $20.29. If we don't get that turnaround, I could see more pressure on the stock. They do have earnings that's coming up towards the end of the month on March the 24th, so you want to continue to keep an eye and see how well it performs around these levels. Now, let's go into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we don't have any new or closed positions, but the recent filing we have here is from Saget Value Holdings, and they increased their position by 4,139.13%. So very bullish there. And then when we take a look at our short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 36.75%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 17.06 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 11 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.25%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 10th, it was at 44.51, and then for the close of the 11th, being at 36.75. So one thing that remains clear, NIO does have short squeeze potential, and it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening. If you catch it while watching this video, then by all means let us know inside of the comments. Let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NIO. So we see on the inflows at 294 and then on the outflows at 252. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 2.45, on the medium it was 193, and then on the small it was 98.51. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 2.06, on the medium it was 166, and then on the small it was 83.63. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, March the 14th, it being that inflow of 0.38 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 7.41%. So this is up there for a stock like NIO, but this is not surprising whatsoever. But one thing that is very clear though, but there is demand in the market for shares and many are loading up on the dip. Now let's get into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for NIO, in regards to the price action, there is a chance where this sell-off can continue. As far as the level that you want to look out for is around $12.50. It also has a gap to fill to the downside around $9.37. So that is one thing you want to be aware of, and I know a lot of my long-term investors would love getting NIO at that particular price point. If you're looking for a turnaround now, then this play needs to get back to the $20 range. I talked about that inside of the previous video, but with this volatility, like I said, it does provide opportunities. And another point I want to bring up as well, we do have C19 wreaking havoc again inside of China. So it wasn't only NIO that was impacted by this. We saw a strong pullback in the entire sector. We saw it happen with stocks like Baba as well as JD, Baidu. Again, I follow a lot of Chinese stocks and all of them pulled back. It wasn't only NIO, even all the other EV plays when we take Xpeng and as well as Li. And we also have to understand the entire market pulled back as a whole. So we can't ignore this fact, but like I said in my previous video before, if you see a pullback happening in the market and then you have Chinese stocks, that pain is going to be doubled. And this is why you have to do your homework and as well as your due diligence. So with this pullback in NIO, continue to keep it on your watch list if you're looking forward to a long-term investment. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see an institution did add more to their position. Plus, on top of that, NIO does have short squeeze potential. So this is part of the reason why it can get very interesting when this stock turns around. So that is why with this short-term volatility, you need to have a game plan. We have the Fed meeting that's going to be happening on Wednesday and Thursday, and we also have the quad witching that is going to be on the Friday. And also, just to clarify, there was also a viewer that was saying, well, you know what, why is everyone always talking down on NIO? Let's be clear. I believe in the long-term prospects of NIO. I actually do like their vehicles as well. And when we take into consideration valuation, which is very important here, a lot of the EV plays inside of the market right now are overvalued. Let's be honest here. And this is including Rivian, this is including Lucid. Yes, I have to include Tesla as well. There is no discrimination whatsoever. So that's part of the reasons why a lot of these stocks are correcting in the fashion that they are. This is why you're seeing drastic declines in price. So again, I am not discriminating whatsoever. NIO will turn itself back around, but as far as the price action is concerned, and if you want to be adding on those dips, I would just be nibbling. I would not be going all in until we start seeing confirmation of a reversal. This is a smart thing to do, especially if you are a long-term investor, because you get the opportunity to load up on shares on companies that you actually believe in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how NIO performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.